Welcome to Ordinary Things, where ordinary things are explained. Today's ordinary thing, neckties, also known as the decorative noose. But what are neckties? Neckties are a narrow piece of fabric designed to be worn around the neck and tied at the throat. They can be made from many materials but are commonly constructed from silk or cotton. Today, there are many different kinds of necktie. There's the ascot tie, the zipper tie, the clip-on tie, the tie-dye tie, and the tie-tie-dye tie. So when did wrapping a piece of fabric around your neck become a formal style necessity? Well, much like the prevalence of the beret and the length of World War II, blame can partially be placed on the French military. While humans have been tying fabric around their necks since they could sew, the necktie as we know it didn't start crowding collars until the 17th century. King Louis XIII of France had hired Croatian mercenaries to fight for him during the 30-Year War, and the king was impressed by the length of cloth the Croatians used to keep their jackets together. Louis liked them so much, in fact, that he required his entire royal court to wear them, a tradition his son would continue in his court. The trend for squeezing your larynx soon spread across the French aristocracy, and it wasn't long before all of Europe had converted to the cravat. The bow tie is a form of tie traditionally worn at formal events in the evening, or during the day by people who used to get their head flushed down the toilet at school. For more on this, please see the fedora, braces, and vaping. The bolo tie has been celebrated by various subcultures throughout the 20th century since its first emergence in the American West. It was notably popularised by the Teddy Boys, a British youth subculture from the 1950s, keen on Savile Row suits and street violence. This is the sowish necktie, valued at an extraordinary $220,000, making it the most expensive necktie in the world. Now that may seem excessive, but you have to remember that it doubles as both a tie and the thing they'll string you up by when the revolution comes. The Colombian necktie, or the cotorcopata, is a form of execution in which the throat is cut horizontally and the tongue is pulled through the open wound. This horrifying party trick first appeared during the Colombian Civil War as a method of psychological warfare, and under no circumstances should it be typed into Google Images. There are four main ways to tie a necktie: the common four-in-hand, the Pratt knot, also known as the Shelby knot, the half Windsor knot, and the Windsor knot. Although the Windsor knot was inspired by the Duke of Windsor, he never actually used the knot himself. The Duke's wide triangular knot was actually achieved through specially made wide ties, and the knot was invented by the public as a way to imitate the Duke's signature style. The Duke of Windsor was a style icon in the 1950s, also fond of loungewear, American divorcees, and pugs. According to researchers from Cambridge's Cavendish Laboratory, there are 85 ways to tie a tie. Thomas Find and Young Mao actually used mathematical modelling to figure this out and published a book on their findings. So it's safe to say these two researchers must have had a lot of tie on their hands. No, wait, I can do better! But not everyone is enamoured with the tie. After the 1979 Iranian Revolution, the new theocratic government instituted a countrywide ban on the necktie. Revolutionary forces deposed the US-backed Shah and installed Grand Ayatollah Khomeini as the country's de facto leader. Khomeini spearheaded a series of reforms designed to rid the country of Western influence. The revolution created a new Islamic republic, but it also inspired widespread violence and the least deserving Oscar winner of all time. Since the revolution, Iran has loosened its stance on the terror of the tie, although it's still considered a fashion faux pas, especially by older generations. However, Iran may well have been ahead of the trend, as the necktie is losing its grip around the throat of male fashion. Tech companies such as Google, Amazon and eBay actually encourage their employees to dress casually, with some going as far as banning traditional office wear entirely. And other companies are following suit. At IKEA's head office, the necktie is completely banned, but that's mostly because no one can figure out the instructions of how to tie one. It's fast become a power move to dress down at the office in the 21st century, as it's a statement to fellow workers that you can wear whatever you want, which is why many corporate fashionistas have predicted that 2020 will see the return of the burlap sack, and if you really want to stay on trend, the bankruptcy barrel. After all, fashion is cyclical, much like a barrel. Californian tech companies have led the charge in disrupting many common business practices, rejecting aspects of corporate life that once seemed a given, such as traditional working hours, corporate hierarchies, and paying your employees a living wage. Now politicians and even royalty are leaving ties in their dresses, so it may not be long before the necktie joins the Jacobean ruff in the history books of pointless male neck fashion. This has been Ordinary Things. If you want to know more about Ordinary Things, please subscribe to the Ordinary Things YouTube channel and click to be notified so that the next Ordinary Thing can be delivered straight to your face.